Hi everyone, you're here with Ordinath, and we're going to continue our playthrough of City of Gangsters with the Russell outfit. So last time we kind of got set up and started and sold our first lot of brick wine, and we set up in the American cannery up front and started expanding. So we're going to now try and head all the way over to here, because this is where we know we can sell some more, and see if we can't get that sorted out now. It's the shortest route to get here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so we'll go to the top map. And so let's start that little journey. Okay, so another corner's been added, so before we kind of do the rest of this journey, we want to make sure we're continuing to expand. So we'll just head back and get that sorted out. So go back here. Now, if you've got money that's accumulated at the front, you need to collect that before you can do the expansion, but because it's currently sitting at neutral, we can just go ahead and expand our territory. So the next one we're going to do is here over to the east. So we've got 2 shops there, which is good. Now the other thing we want to do is, since we've taken over this corner, we want to make sure that we start the protection money rolling in. So we'll go there, and they've got a mission for us, but I don't think we're interested in that at this time. Well, interestingly, the mission is, are we having a hard time finding neutral alcohol? So this will enable us to get neutral alcohol. So we should remember that for later, if we decide to go down the neutral alcohol path. So in any case, we will go through and we'll say, hey, I've got great news, we've taken control of this corner. Things will be better around here. They're so glad to hear. And then you want to use this one, which is, we can make things better together. And it's an honour, how can I assist? And I say a small monthly contribution of $25. Now, because we've got the perk regarding protection rackets, we get $25. I think normally it's $15 or $25, so we'll demand our payment. Now, because we've got a good relationship and we're friendly, they're quite comfortable to help us, and we don't lose much. It's only -4 for being extorted. And now we're done with that, so now we can get on with moving on again. So what we might do is get ourselves up to here, and let's look at this business, and then we can keep going on another turn. As you can see, we've got the notices for the expansion of the corner and the extortion, and we've found Bill's Lumberyard. Now, this little one here is they want to speak to us, so these guys are doing great concentrate, having a hard time finding great concentrate, so that's excellent. So it means that we've got great concentrate or neutral alcohol. I think we'll probably do the neutral alcohol for reasons I said before, but let's keep going out until we can sell some stuff. So we'll move down here. Now you can see we've got we have got a couple of businesses here we can explore, and we've got 3 action points, so we will use those action points now, because when I go to here I'm not sure if I'll be able to explore more businesses. Now I can always move on and see those, but we might as well do this route all the way along. We've got another pending mission here. Okay, I've heard a bit of a rumour that you can get your hands on some interesting potent liquids. Is that true? So this is the mission that opens up a new customer. And you say, I've got a supply of brick wine. So now if we bring them a supply of some free brick wine, they'll then have a favour, improve their opinion, and from then on they can be someone who we can sell brick wine to. So that's something we can definitely do, and because we've got it now, we can do it right now. I'll say, I have the things you're waiting for. So I brought the 5 brick wine, so we deliver the 5 crocks. And now we can improve our relationship quite substantially, and we get a couple of favours from this person as well. So they also know where someone might be. So, what do we got? We've got 35 brick wine in the car. And we've got 3 sitting at home. So, what we might do then is we might go ahead and sell the brick wine we've got. Sell those 13 crops. And then we can move on. Now, I could go this way. What I'm going to do is go this one because that will link up these territories so that if I come around this direction later, I've got 2 paths that are cleared. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we've met some people because we've run into the police person here. Basically, anyone they're kind of in contact with will know. So we've got a crew here, the Kavar crew. It's still early stages, but they're obviously expanding down in that direction, or they're down in this direction. And then we've got a couple of sets of hoodlums. So we've got the Nicholas boys and Cleary's crew. We've got 2 Nicholases, so we've got Nicholas and Nicholas. The Nicholas boys. Nicholas boys. So there must be 2 Nicholas boys. Alright. So let's keep plodding along towards... Okay. Got someone who knows where we could sell some of our stuff. We've got that truck garage. So we've still got a point to spend, so what I might do is utilise that point and see if I can find others who are willing to buy our product. So there's another one there. And this is just the new places we've found and the introduction we did. Okay, looks like we've earned further experience point. So we're still kind of exploring, not too worried about fighting anyone. So we might get a little bit more an efficient driver and get that second 2 more movement points for Willard. And keep heading along here. We'll use our chance to look at this. What are they looking for? Interesting bits. Okay, so brick wine again. So we can deliver the 5 crops there. And now we'll take the chance to sell a bit more. We'll improve the price. And okay, we've emptied the car. Very interesting. And now you can see we haven't got anyone telling us where we could potentially further sell our drop. And at this stage in the game, because we haven't got a production site, we do have some brick wine. So if there were people who our friends knew who were happy to buy brick wine, that would show up. But you can see there's no more icons showing that we can get connected to new people. So the question is now, do we press ahead over here and try and use a favour, or do we try and head back and set up our first illegal business? I think we should head back and set up our first illegal business. That would be good. Now we're not quite in range, so we want to use up our action point. So I might just pop past here. There's a police station. There's the Cafe Libra. Now, now's probably a good time to talk about overlays. So up here you have the overlay button, or you can activate it using X. And probably the most important ones to use are heat. So as you sell illegal goods, you generate heat. And sometimes on these corners you'll get icons that say the police are interested, so you want to stay away from those if you have a private police. The second one that's really important is police precincts. So if you click on the police precincts, you will see that there are different colours for different police precincts. So we're essentially in this purple precinct, but we also have part in the this sort of light blue colour And then we have a little bit that's in this light green colour, so we're kind of between 3 different precincts, which is a bit of a pain, just because it means we have to bribe at least those 3 if we want to operate in these areas. And then this sort of lighter purple, we still even have a little bit that's kind of encroaching in. So if you have bribed the police, you can basically do anything you want in that precinct without interference. If you haven't and you end up on a corner with heat, police may come and arrest you, and then they'll confiscate everything in your car: illegal booze, money, and even weapons. So that can be a really big hit, especially early on. So you want to understand where the police precincts are. So since I'm down here, one of the things is once you've identified the police station, it will tell you in the precincts view whether or not you have bribed that police precinct. Also, if you know the police precinct, police department precinct, you can see which officer is there and go and find them, look at their connections and who they know, so that you can try and bribe them and get them off your back. So anyway, we will still sort of head our way back and see if we can set up our business. So because we're going to now set up a business that is going to be brickwine, just because if you have a look, we have 3 places that'll buy moonshine, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places that will buy brick wine. I think it would be wise to get into the brick wine business. Perhaps we'd be better off getting into the moonshine business. So, grape concentrate. We still don't have anywhere that gives us grape concentrate. And neutral alcohol, we still don't have anywhere that gives us neutral alcohol. Look, I think we could go into moonshine as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 places that take moonshine. But let's do the wine. Just before we make that decision, we should check whether we've got small barrels available to us, because I would say the small bottles, we don't have small bottles or small barrels available to us, which is going to make this quite difficult too. But I think if we do this, they want 8 small barrels, and I don't think we've got any small barrels whatsoever available to us. I can't see any, so we'd have to go hunting for those. And then small bottles is what we need for the neutral alcohol, which is just as bad. So unless we can find those, I'm not sure we want to pick up either of those. So before we go and do that, let's go ahead and see if we can't identify a place where we can get those things. So the sorts of places that are going to give us small barrels are places like hardware stores or lumber yards or those sorts of places. So I'm surprised. This is full-size barrels we have. Yeah, Farrell Brothers. Arts Junkyard. Alright, let's go do some exploring and see if we can't find the right places. So, what do these guys do? These guys, a lumber crowbar and a pocket knife. These guys, just candies. What have we got here? So, just looking here at the painting place. They're not really selling anything either. So industrial areas are probably going to be better for us. I'm just looking, this is all housing. This looks a little more industrial over here, so maybe we're going to head over that way. But we'll clear out this side street and see what we can find. Now, this is just the election cycle, which we're not interested in, but we have had a new corner join our territory. Now, it can be a little bit glitchy, so obviously that was supposed to be expanding into here. As you can see, we haven't had this territory join us yet, which is a bit strange. But I do know that based on that notification that we have had the expansion happen. So what we'll do is go back and we'll take any money there is. So good job. So we got 14 bucks, which is not much. But we'll go through the how's our front doing, and we'll go through the process of getting a further expansion. And I'll see you around. And then we can start moving our way through this area, but we'll the junkyard, which doesn't sell anything we want. We'll start moving along. So we've got yet another hoodlum, which is Schumacher and the crew. And we'll move down here and see what we've got. Okay, so like the notice came the turn before, but here is your corner has expanded. Now let's go ahead and extort both these businesses. So great news, we've taken control of the corner. And we'll do the same with the junkyard. Okay, so we've had to say, I don't like where this is going. The answer is no. Now you've got a couple of choices. You can decide not to extort them. But let's face it, we want the money, and eventually they'll forgive us. So we use this destroy property. So we're going ahead and smash up their property. Now you can get different answers, but we got the answer, I'm not afraid of you and your kind. So we'll see about that. So it can take anywhere between 1 and 4 or 5 times. Usually 2 or 3 is plenty, but you just need to keep smashing it up until they give in. And each time you smash it up, you lose a level of opinion. So even though I'm friendly and all those different things, they're in the negative because of that. Anyway, we'll keep using the time to explore. So let's head down. See what we've got. Northern warehouse and storage. What do these guys sell? Okay, these guys sell small barrels. So we haven't got any points to do that at the moment, but we'll be able to get small barrels from these guys, which means we want to go back to find our great concentrate, and we can utilise those small barrels. So we'll start back, and so we can set up our business. So that was just the corner, and this was our attempts to get protection money. Now we've met a police officer, so this police officer here. Now we don't quite need to bribe her yet, but it would be, we'll have to do that soon. She only knows me, so we'll need to make some relationships with some people she knows so that we can get on a good side before we try and bribe her. This one's just the new warehouse. Alright, so let's start off by putting some money back in and setting up our illegal brick wine operation. So if we click on the backroom business tab and then into the new operation, we know 2 parts. We've got moonshine manufacture and brick wine. So we're going to set up brick wine, and we need $700, which is saying we don't have, and 4 lumber. Now the reason it says we don't have it is because it's not in the actual location. So if you click on the storage, and now we put $700. So to move different amounts, control shift is 1,000, control is 10, and shift is 100. Otherwise it's just $1 amounts. So we need $700. Probably need a bit more than that. So we'll move 1,000 back in there. And now we can set up our backroom brick wine operation. So just click on here and then we click build. And it says, would you like to install this operation? It will take 35 days, which is 5 turns. So we click OK. Now it's turn 12 now, so that'll be ready on turn 17. Now, once it's built, it will produce every 7 turns 45 brick wine. And it needs 45 crocs. Now, if you remember, fortunately the small lumberyard produces 20 crocs every 2 days, so that's plenty. So we don't need to get crocs in here. But what we do need is to make sure we have the grape concentrate. So we'll now head over and start the mission to get our grape concentrate going. Grape concentrate going. Isn't that a tongue twister? So we will head across to here to do that. Now, you can use overlays and for other things, but I'll show you that a bit later. But if you're not sure where you can get things like grape concentrate or those sorts of things, there's ways of doing it through the overlay, but we'll have a look at that when we start learning skills. So we'll go here now. I'm listening and it says having a hard time finding enough grape concentrate. For sure, I could use some of that. And so he says, if you deliver 8 barrels and $250, then we'll be able to provide some grape concentrate. So it sounds like the start of a fruitful relationship. Now, I've got the $250 already, so I can just click on him and then say, I brought you the remaining cash and deliver 250. Thanks, we're getting there. Let me know when you have the rest. Will do. Now the next step is to buy those, buy the small barrels. Now, just double check they are small barrels. Yeah, 8 small barrels. So we need to go and do that. Unfortunately, you can see there's a police officer on the corner where the small barrels are. So there's no point going this turn, but maybe we have some here. We do have some small barrels here. Let's have a look. Sell small barrels. Okay. I must have missed that before. We'll go here and... okay. So when you have hoodlums in the area, typically they will harass the businesses around that area. And to get that to stop, you need to approach the hoodlum and either use a favour or threaten them, so be sufficiently threatening to ensure that they will stop harassing the businesses around there. And once some time has passed since they've been harassed, then those businesses will be available to trade with. So you can see here it says, I'm sorry, but the shop's closed. It's the local troublemakers, they won't leave me alone. So to find out which local troublemakers, because sometimes there's a lot more than one local troublemaker, it's pretty obvious that it's the Voight boys. But if you click here on the relationships icon, and then there's this tab here, which is the history tab, and it says on the 10th of August, which was a week ago, the business was vandalised by the Voight boys, and that then stays relevant for 5 turns. So for 5 turns, they won't trade with you. So just as an example, if we click on the Voight boys, you can say, I need you to stop harassing businesses around here. So if you have a look up here, you can see at the moment that these guys are independent. Now, they're going to say, oh, what are you going to do about it? Now, I could threaten them, but at the moment, I don't have any weapons. I'm weak, I'm friendly. I'm not exactly the most imposing person, so they're probably not going to listen to me. And if I push ahead with trying to threaten them, they may become defiant. And once they're defiant, then they start doing all sorts of annoying things. So we won't do that just yet. We might wait for the police to move down here, and hopefully this business isn't being harassed. We can check that. So they haven't... okay, the social history isn't available. So hopefully they're not being harassed and we can work on them. In the meantime, what we can do is use the opportunity to identify a few more businesses and move our way down here. So we'll do that. Okay. These guys have a mission as well. You're a well-connected person. I could ask you about something. I've heard a rumour that you can get your hands on some potent weapons. Indeed. And supply of brick wine. Great. So we've got another brick wine customer, which will suit us. Nice and close to where we're producing, so even better. So when we've got our brick wine, we can do that a bit further. And how are we going to use the rest of our time up? Perhaps we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can get to that corner in particular. We could use a favour up from someone. It's quite possible. Probably not a bad idea to use up this guy's favour just because we're about to extort him or her. Help with a friend. That's not useful for us. And she doesn't know the local hoodlums. It would be good to know those local hoodlums and get a favour. Get me in with some of the local troublemakers. The Schumacher crew. Okay, that's this guy over here. It's not a bad use of a favour because we've got a spare favour and we can do some deals with the local crews. So let's do that. I'll see you around. And then we can use the rest of our movement to get down to here. And we'll explore the Irish bakery. So we've found these 2 new businesses and we've been introduced to the Schumacher crew. And we'll go next turn. And now we should be able to buy our 8 small barrels. So again, shift left click on here to get the purchase menu up. We're not friendly, so we can't haggle for the price. And 8 barrels will be plenty. Now, depending on whether we can buy more concentrate, we probably want to repeat the mission we just did to get more and more grape concentrate. So I'm going to buy the full load of barrels that are available to save some time. And then we will go up and deliver these up to our mission spot. Okay, I have the things you're waiting for. So we deliver the 8 small barrels, and now we get back 8 grape concentrate small barrels. You can see also by completing the mission we've got some favour with this person as well. Okay, so you'll see there's another mission marker here, which we'll use again. It's like, still don't have a steady source of grape concentrate. And you say, not yet, haven't been able to start making my own. And so then we get this one which says, well, bring over some more empty small barrels and have them refilled. So great, so now we can get 18 at a time, which is pretty fantastic. So absolutely, we'll do that. Now, remember I bought the extra 2 barrels, so now we'll give at least those 2, and that means we've got 16 left to give. You'll see up here in the mission dialogue, or the mission list on the left hand side, you can see this concentrate on grapes is still available up here, and we've delivered 2 of 18. So where did the grapes go? So I think if you look back here, we now have 8 grape concentrate delivered straight to our site. And you can see, even though we're still building here, we now have enough grape concentrate, we've got enough crocs, and so we should be able to start producing immediately. Well, the next thing we've got to think about is, what are we going to do with our time now? So we've got a period while we're waiting for our operation to open up with the brick wine. We've got our corner expanding. It's going to expand soon over here, so we will want to get going our protection racket on this corner. But if you recall, we haven't finished getting our protection racket over here, so this park junkyard's still holding out on us. So it would be a good idea to go over there and beat them up and make sure they're going to pay their money. So let's try and be a little bit efficient with that. You'll see we've got our little, they know someone who might be particularly helpful or useful icons coming up again. That's because now we've started building something. They will provide you a link to anyone who can supply to you. Now usually this is crocs, so there's lots and lots of places that sell crocs, and so they will be provided. So I'm not really going to chase those down because I don't really need more crocs because we produce crocs at the front for our business, so that's a bit pointless, so we won't do that. So in any case, let's try and use our time wisely. I'm just trying to think what the best thing is to do next, but I think we'll go over and we'll continue to extort the junkyard. So we go back in here. We need to finish our little chat. Oh yeah, it's now our burden to make sure nothing bad happens on this corner. So you go to hell and we'll bust up the property again. Still not afraid of us, so we're going to have to go for a third time. So we've still got 2 actions, so we might just roll around to here and check out these 2 businesses. What's this person doing? Okay, we've got quite a few neutral alcohol missions available here for us, so we can kind of ignore those for the moment. So they didn't comply with our demands and we found 2 new businesses. Alright, so the final part of our corner has expanded. So that's great news. So that might be a good place to leave it, because once we've gotten to 5 corners now, it is at a point where we need to start expanding our crew and a few other things. So thanks for watching. We will come back next time on the next episode and we'll start moving into taking over some more corners and hopefully selling some of our own brick wine.